Almost all of the energy that we consume today came from the star at the middle of our solar system, and that we either burn that energy, which has been stored in coal or gas or oil for an extended period of time, or alternatively, we consume the energy which is passing by us every day, either as sun or as its secondary product, the weather or wind blowing past our wind turbines. So if we want to be able to reduce the carbon emissions that come from the stored energy that we've been using, we need to find a way of solving the energy trilemma, of being clean, of being cheap, and of being reliable. Those things are absolutely today in conflict. Almost half of that energy that we consume comes to us as an alternating current waveform. The system that was invented by William Stanley 138 years ago, 140 years ago, and was first deployed in upstate New York, was a system which was extraordinarily reliable and cheap. It was predicated on a sine wave, on that sinusoid. That sinusoid, like all other signals, has a frequency. You can't maintain this beautiful system that's hidden amongst our infrastructure, providing energy as an input to the room that you're in, to the shop around the corner, to your electric vehicle. We can't continue to do that unless that sinusoid remains stable. So we have to maintain stability to have any hope of achieving reliability and affordability. The marginal cost of producing energy from a solar farm or a wind farm is fundamentally cheaper than energy produced from a coal-fired power station or from a nuclear power station or from oil powered station or a gas-fired power station. In almost all instances, the marginal cost of energy produced by a solar farm or a wind farm is massively cheaper than those things, because that power doesn't come to us as a nice sinusoidal waveform, and that generator, that solar farm and that wind turbine is not reliable in the energy that it dispatches. Night comes, there is no solar power. The wind stops blowing, there is no wind. So we need to find some mechanism by which we match power from anywhere to anyone across that system through time and space. If you want to be able to decarbonize that system, you need to maintain our energy system, which provides for 50% of everything, from forms of generation which are inherently not reliable. Solving that problem is at the center of solving the energy trilemma. So to be able to reconcile this issue of highly variant wind and solar with our need to be able to provide energy reliably to consumers, there's a really big hole in the middle of that problem. So if our goal and objective is to be able to provide energy reliably, cheaply, at all times and under any conditions to everybody, in a system which currently provides 50% of the energy to all consumers, and in which we have an expectation in the process of decarbonising the energy system that we have to electrify more of our demand, then our energy system, our electricity system in particular, has to become much more capable. So we need a better grid, not just more grid. All of a sudden, we're going to have a grid, the same grid we have today, with all of its constraints and limits, able to support the electrification of a rapidly changing load profile, the behaviour of consumers, while simultaneously dealing with a rapid change in the nature of how we're generating energy. The way that wind turbines and solar farms generate energy can't make a contribution to managing the rate of change of frequency in the system and the provision of stability in that system as a whole. We have to find a technological solution and enablement of how that grid can become a solution which is fit for both the changes to generation that we're demanding of that system and the changes to the load. We have a system which hasn't really changed in 138 years. That system now needs to change. That system itself, the grid, has to become the primary provider of system stability. That grid now needs to be able to balance energy from one side to the other. It needs to be bidirectional.